Hi family, welcome back to ladensercrochets. If you're new to the channel, you're welcome. Kindly subscribe and join the family. My name is Liz, and in this tutorial we're going to create this mesh top. This top is very simple, a very simple pattern that is so easy even for beginners, and it matches a pair of pants that I recently created and uploaded a tutorial for on this channel. I'm going to leave the link to the pants tutorial in the description box so that you can click on it and watch the pants tutorial. I'm working with these two shades. Both of the yarns are medium weight. So we have the gray and I'll have the blue too. Then a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, a pair of scissors, stitch markers, darning needle, and a measuring tape. We'll start by working two identical panels, and I've already done one. We're going to need two measurements to work these two panels. The first measurement is the bust measurement divided by 2, and as you can see, this is up to 14, means the bust measurement is 28 when not stretched, but when I give it a little bit of a stretch, it will get to 16. So I'm working this inside small for someone with a bust of 32, so this stretches to 16. The other length is the full length, and I've worked a length of 13. I'm working a crop top. So if you want it longer, you can go up to 15, 18, whatever length you want for your top. So get those two measurements and let's get into the tutorial. We begin with a slip knot, and then we chain until we get half of the bust measurement. I'm going to chain 50. The chain that you make should be a multiple of 2, that is a number that is divisible by 2. So chain up to the size that you're working. I have my 50 chains, and we're going to take the measurement from one end to the other without stretching. I'm at 15. When I give this a bit of a stretch, it can stretch up to 16 or even 17. I'm going to work with that. To begin row 1, you hold the last chain that you've made like this, then chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and the chain 3 is our first double crochet. Then we're going to yarn over, insert the hook into the chain that we're holding, yarn over and pull up a loop to get 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2, and that's our second double crochet. Then yarn over into the next chain, do a double crochet, then a double crochet into the chain that follows, and we're going to place 1 double crochet into every chain till we get to the end of row 1. Now at the end of row 1, I'll have 51 double crochets. So if you've started with say 54 stitches or 54 chains, at the end you should have 55 double crochets. If you've started with 60, you should have 61 double crochets. So the number of stitches is going to increase by 1 at the end of row 1. That means at the end of row 1, we're going to have an odd number of stitches. We started with an even number, but we're going to end up with an odd number. So keep going to the end of row 1. I'll meet you there so that we can start row 2. I'm at the end of row 1, and I'm just going to place the last double crochet there, and that is what we have. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and turn to begin row 2. The chain 4 is a double crochet plus a chain 1. So we're going to yarn over, skip the first stitch because we already have the chain there, skip the second and work into the third, place a double crochet. So that means we have a double crochet, a chain 1 in between, then another double crochet, then chain 1 again, yarn over, skip the next stitch, work into the next one, place a double crochet, chain 1, skip, double crochet, chain 1, skip, double crochet, chain 1, skip, another double crochet, chain 1, skip, double crochet. Now keep going to the end of row 2. When we get to the end of row 2, we have this double crochet and the chain 3 that we did at the beginning remaining. Those are 2 stitches, so we're going to chain 1, yarn over, skip this double crochet and work on top of the chain 3 from the beginning of row 1. Chain 3 and turn to begin row 3. Begin row 3 in the chain 1 space. We're going to place a double crochet there. Then on top of this double crochet we place a double crochet, then double crochet into the chain 1 space, double crochet next into the chain 1 space, and every stitch, that is all the double crochets and the chain 1 spaces, will get 1 double crochet. We repeat this to the end of row 3. I'm coming to the end of row 3 and I have that double crochet right there. Then we have the chain 4 remaining. We're going to yarn over and work a double crochet into that chain. Then yarn over, count from the bottom, 1, 2 and 3 into the chain 3. We place a double crochet to complete row 3 like that. Then we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and turn. This is row 4 and we're going to work it the same way we worked row 2. So we're going to yarn over, skip the first stitch and the second, then work into the third. The reason why we are skipping the first stitch is because the chain is a stitch right there. Chain 1, yarn over, skip, double crochet next. Chain 1, skip, then double crochet. Chain 1, skip, double crochet. Chain 1, skip, and continue with the pattern to the end of row 4. At the end of row 4 we chain 1, skip this double crochet and work into the chain 3. We're done with row 4, chain 3 and turn to begin row 5, and we're going to work row 5 just like we did row 3. So a double crochet into the chain 1 space, a double crochet on top of the previous double crochet, then double crochet into the chain 1 space, double crochet next, then double crochet into every stitch to the end. So now you already know that you're repeating 2 rows, that is row 2 and row 3. So this is row 2 and this is row 3. This is row 4, which is the same as row 2. This is row 5, which is the same as row 3. So next we're going to do row 6, which is the same as row 2 and 4. So that means the even rows are the same, the odd rows are also the same. So now keep repeating this until you get to the full length of your top. If you want to change colors, I'll show you how. That is, if you're working with multiple yarns and you want to change colors like I'm doing, let me work up to a certain number of rows and then I'll come back and show you how to change the color. So like in this panel that I've already worked, I worked a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I worked a total of 12 rows before changing the color. So in this one I'll work 12 rows and then once I'm done with the 12th row I'll come back and show you how to change the color. If you want to change after 10 rows, after 5 rows, that is totally up to you. I'm done with the 12 rows and I'm ready to change from gray to blue. So I'll chain 1 and cut off the yarn at that point. pull through and fasten, then turn to the other side, and we're going to reconnect the blue yarn here and work all the way to the end. And with the blue, I'm going to work, let's see, a total of 6 rows with the blue. You start with a slip knot, then we're going to get that very first stitch, the double crochet stitch, insert the hook into it and slip stitch, then tighten like that. I'm going to work over these ends. Now chain 3, that's our first double crochet into that first double crochet, so we're going to yarn over and work into the chain 1 space. Then next we work into the double crochet with a double crochet and into the chain 1 space, into the double crochet, so now after this row I'll work the mesh row, then I'll work for a total of 6 rows, then cut off the blue yarn, attach the gray, and keep going till I get the full length of my top. So I'll meet you once I have the full length, and I'll show you how to join the 2 pieces together. So right here I'm done with one of the panels. That is my second panel, and I've done a total of 25 rows, and this gives me the full length of the top that I was going for, which is 13 inches. So you need to make another panel completely the same as the first one that you've made, and then when you're done with the second one, do not cut off the yarn. Like this is my second and I have the yarn there because I'm going to use it to attach these to the other panel. So once you have the first and the second panels, we're going to join them at the top, and as you join you need to leave a space for the neckline. So I'm going to attach for, like, let's see, from here that will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. I'll attach 10 stitches on this side and 10 stitches on the other side so that I have 30 in the middle. So you need to hold your one of the panels in such a way that this is the right side and this is the wrong side and this is the right side. So this is my right side. Then you're going to get the other panel and you're going to have it in such a way that this is the right side, the wrong. So you have wrong side, right side, then wrong. The 2 right sides are facing each other like that. So now I'll begin from here. I need to chain 1, then insert my hook into the chain 3 on this end and onto the first stitch and grab the loop, then pull it through. So pull it through the 2 stitches, chain 1, after the chain 1 I'll go back into those first stitches and do a single crochet, insert the hook, pull up a loop, pull through the 2 loops, then the second stitch and the second stitch on the other side, do a single crochet, the third stitch and the third on the other side. So that's 3. I'll join for 10 stitches. 3, we have 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we have the last one, 10. Chain 1 and cut the yarn. pull through, fasten. I'll weave in that end, but before that I'll go to the other side and join for 10 stitches again, just like we've done on the other side. So we reconnect the yarn at the beginning on the chain 3. This is my first stitch, and the first stitch on the other side. Pull up a loop. So like I'm not starting with the slip knot, but you can start with it. So, and then I'm going to work over these ends. Chain 1 back into those stitches with a single crochet, then we do 10 of them. So we have 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 7, 8, 9 and 10. Chain 1 and cut off the yarn, pull it through and fasten. So these ends are already weaved in, so I can cut them off. Then now this is my neckline. Then we need to join on the sides, and on the sides we need to measure out the armholes. So from the top up to around 8 to 9 inches. I'll join up to right here. So I'll just mark the end of the blue yarn. That is where I'll stop, because it stretches, it'll stretch. It can fit up to 9 inches even, because I've measured without stretching, and I'm at around 8 inches, but an adult armhole is usually 9 inches, but I can do with 8. So I'll mark over there and then do the same marking on the other side. So I'll stop at the gray just before the blue. Now if you've not worked the same way I've done, then you need to count the rows, and the rows that are on the armhole are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. So hold your work like this, grab the hook, insert it into the first row on one side and the first row on the other side, get the yarn, and pull it through, chain 1. After chaining 1, I'm going to work on the rows. So the first row, we go back into it and place 2 single crochets into it. So 1 and 2. Then we're going to get to the next 2 rows, one on this side and one on the other side. We place 2 single crochets into them, 1 and 2. Then we have the third row, 2 single crochets, and continue till we get to this point. Then we have the last row. We're going to place 2 single crochets into it. Then the last stitch will be right here, just below the row that is on top, somewhere in between the 2 rows. Do your last single crochet there, chain 1 and cut off the yarn, pull through and fasten, then turn to the other side and do the same thing. So I'll just do that on this side of camera, then I'll be back. I'm done joining all the parts, and I can take away the stitch markers now. Then I'll get the darning needle and weave in the ends, all of them, before I start working on the sleeves. Once we're done weaving in the ends, we're going to turn our top to the right side. So now this is what we have, and we are ready to do the sleeves. To work the sleeves, we get the yarn and the hook, and we start with a slip knot. So just make your slip knot. Then you're going to get one side of the top on the sleeve part, in the middle on the armpits, that is, and we're going to get one of the rows at the armpits and reconnect the yarn there. Next, we're going to chain 3. So that's 2 and 3, and that's our first double crochet. Then we're going to go back into that row and place another double crochet into it. Then we skip over to the next row and place 2 double crochets, that is 1 and 2. We go to the next row and place 2 double crochets, and we're going to go all the way around the sleeve with 2 double crochets in each of the rows. So I'll keep going all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of row 1 of the sleeves so that we can begin row 2. I'm coming to the end of row 2, and I have the last row right here, and I'm going to place 2 double crochets into it right there. So 1 and 2, yeah, the second one. Then we're going to slip stitch onto the chain 3 from the beginning, and we are done with row 1. So now we are ready to begin row 2, and we begin row 2 by chaining 4, then turning. The chain 4 is a double crochet plus a chain 1, so we yarn over and skip the second stitch, work into the third with a double crochet, chain 1, skip, double crochet next, and you already know how this pattern goes. So chain 1, skip, and double crochet, and we're just going to repeat these 2 rows until we get to the end. So let me keep going to the end of row 2, and then I'll show you how to start row 3. Then I'll let you keep going until you get to the full length of your sleeve. You can work this top as a vest, or you can make your sleeves short or mid length, or you can do a full length, or a full length sleeve, and that is what I'm doing. So let me finish row 2 and I'll show you how to begin row 3, and then we will continue to the end. At the end of row 2, we're going to chain 1, skip the last stitch, and slip stitch onto the chain 3 right there, and then chain 3 and turn to begin row 3. And row 3 is the solid double crochet row, so all the stitches will get 1 double crochet. 1 double crochet into the double crochet, then a double crochet into the chain 1 space, a double crochet onto the next double crochet, and keep going to the end. So we alternate the rows, the solid double crochet alternated by the mesh row, I'll be back here once I'm done with the full length of the sleeve and let you know the number of rows that I'll have done to get me to the full length. Right here I'm done with the sleeve, and I've done a total of 39 rows to get me to the full length of the sleeve that I wanted, and this is a long sleeve, so 39 rows. You can do less or more depending on the length of your sleeve. And at the end, we're just going to chain one and weave in the end. Make sure that you end with a double crochet row. Then you're just going to go to the other side and connect the yarn the same way we did on the other sleeve, and then work your 39 rows or 40 rows or 41, whatever works for you, and we are done. We are done with the top. So this is what we have. This is the neckline, and we have the main part of the top and the sleeves, that is. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the tutorial. If you've enjoyed the tutorial, kindly leave a like, a comment, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one.